Welcome to the advanced tutorial segment of Bright Home Lights. In this tutorial, we'll explore configurations for setting up LED counts and segments. While these configurations are optional, they offer enhanced control over your lighting system. In this video, we'll cover 1. Usage scenarios for these configurations. 2. Backing up configuration before making changes. 3. Setting up LED counts. 4. Configuring segments. 5. Reversing the direction of LEDs. LED count refers to the number of lights connected to an output in the controller. Segments involve dividing the LED count into separate sections for individual control. By default, all lights operate in unison. However, we configure LED counts and segments when we desire individual control, allowing us to partition the installation. Here are a couple examples. In this scenario, we connect a total of 250 lights to the controller. This constitutes the LED count. Then, we divide this LED count into segments. The first segment, named Garage, comprises 100 lights, while the second, named Entryway, includes the remaining 150 lights. Consequently, we can assign the color blue to the garage lights and red to the entryway lights. In this scenario, we have 3 peaks that we wish to control individually. To achieve this, we first establish the LED count, indicating the number of lights connected to each output. Then, we divide these lights into segments. With this setup, we can assign specific colors to each peak: blue for peak 1, white for peak 2, and red for peak 3. In this scenario, there is a bedroom located at the 3rd peak, currently illuminated in red. With segments configured, we can selectively dim the brightness solely for the red areas, allowing the rest of the home to remain at normal brightness levels. In this particular scenario, the controller is positioned centrally in the middle of the house. The blue and white lines are connected from right to left, while the red line is connected from left to right. When connected like this, lights will flow in opposite directions, which might not be ideal. By configuring the LED count and segments, we can utilize the reverse option to change the direction of the blue and white lines. This ensures that all effects flow uniformly in the same direction. Prior to making any adjustments to your configuration, we strongly recommend creating a backup of all settings and presets. This precautionary measure ensures that if any inadvertent misconfigurations occur, you can effortlessly revert to the previous state. To perform a backup, you need to access your device on a computer by going to the IP address found on the home screen. Once there, select Config. Select Security and Updates. Choose the options for Backup Presets and Backup Configuration. Once selected, a file containing your settings will be downloaded. This file can be utilized to restore your configurations if necessary in the future. This setting defines the number of LEDs connected to each output in your system. Before configuring this setting, it's crucial to accurately determine the exact number of physical LEDs connected to each output. If you're uncertain about this, a method of trial and error can be employed by incrementally increasing the count until the desired outcome is achieved. We'll illustrate this process shortly. For the remainder of this video, please keep in mind the setup of our demonstration. The oyster track comprises 10 lights. The white track consists of 8 lights. The brown track is divided into 2 sections, one with 4 lights and another with 2 lights, totaling 6 lights. The black track comprises 4 lights. To configure the LED count, follow these steps. Navigate to Config. Select LED Preferences. Under the Hardware Setup section, you'll find the settings for LED outputs. Depending on your controller model, you may have between 4 to 8 data outputs, corresponding to the physical wires on the controller. With the known LED counts, we can configure the settings in the length field as follows. Output 1, representing the oyster track, is assigned a length of 10. Output 2, representing the white track, is assigned a length of 8. Output 3, representing the brown track, is assigned a length of 6. Output 4, representing the black track, is assigned a length of 4. Ensure to save the changes to apply them. To verify the setup, turn off or change your lights, and all lights should respond accordingly. The checkbox option for reversed, rotated 180 degrees, provides the flexibility to reverse the direction of the entire output. This allows effects to flow from right to left or from end to beginning as desired. Here is a demonstration. With the box checked, effects flow the reverse direction. If you're unsure about how many LEDs are connected, you can try adjusting the count until the lights respond as desired. For instance, if we set output 1 to 8 instead of 10, we'll see only 8 lights light up, indicating the actual count. Keep adjusting until you get the right result. Just remember not to enter excessively large counts, as it can cause issues as you are asking the controller to send data to lights that don't exist. Now that we've properly configured our LED outputs, we can proceed to divide them into segments. To do this, navigate to the Segments section. The controller initially has a default segment, segment 0, that includes all lights, in our case, a total of 28 lights, 10 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4. Let's begin breaking this down into segments. First, we'll segment the oyster track, which has 10 lights. Click the pencil icon, rename it to oyster, set the start and stop LEDs from 0 to 10, then click the check mark to save. Next, for the white track with 8 lights, repeat the same process, naming it and setting the start and stop count from 10 to 18. The brown track is divided into 2 sections, so you can either enter 6 for the total count or create separate segments for brown 1 and brown 2. Finally, for the black track with 4 lights. Remember to save the segments as a preset to retain the settings once configured. Now that we have our segments configured, let's go through how to control them individually. The power button at the bottom left toggles a segment off and on. For full control of a segment, leave the oyster segment checked and uncheck the rest. With only the oyster segment checked, you can adjust settings like color, effect, and brightness. To control multiple segments together, simply check all the segments you want to control simultaneously. This concludes the tutorial on LED counts and segments. Please visit the Help section on our website at www.brightHomeLights.com/help for additional information and resources.